Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I know I haven't posted in a while, I've been not really busy, but I haven't had good video ideas. But I've been just doing what I normally do on the internet, like doing whatever. And I came across some stuff and read some stuff, which gave me some new information that I never heard of. And now I wanted to share what I've just learned. You may know of what I'm talking about. I've just learned it. So yeah, just wanted to share what I heard. So today we're doing like a what if scenario. We all know the coal fire happened on Titanic. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do a brief introduction of the coal fire and then a brief introduction to that terrible coal fire theory. Then we're going to do it to the what-if scenario. So first, we're just going to give a brief, realistic introduction to the coal fire. So I think right before Titanic left Southampton, a coal fire had been raging in one of the boiler rooms in the front of the ship. It was still burning while Titanic was sailing out. I think it was extinguished on the 11th or 12th. It was burning at Southampton. They put it out, I think, a day later. And since this happened, they had to move all the coal from Boiler Room 6 and all the coal from Boiler Room 5 to the port coal bunkers. And them doing that caused the ship to lean over to port, like a 2.5 degree list or like a 3 degree list to port. They emptied those two boiler rooms, coal bunkers, because Boiler Room 6 was ablaze. And they were scared that Boiler Room 5 would also catch on fire because of Boiler Room 6 heat generating. The two coal bunkers were side by side. They were just separated by like a thin wall. I think not a thin wall, from one of the bulkheads, but they were scared that the heat would travel from Boiler Room 6 coal bunker to Boiler Room 5 and cause a fire to break out in the Boiler Room 5. So they extinguished Boiler Room 6 and moved all the coal from both, which caused the port list. And that's basically it. So let me explain you to that terrible theory. I'm going to do a brief introduction to the theory and how terrible it is. So basically the theory is that the fire had broken out in the boiler room like normal, but it was so bad, the fire was so bad, that it weakened the hull and caused like a major dent in the hull. There was a dent. I think there's a photo of it. I don't think there's a photo. I think I'm thinking of something else. But I think Fireman Barrett, I think his name is. I think he gave his testimony after the sinking, saying that after the coal fire, he saw it like it looked like it had been melted, the hull, and how it looked like it was dented. And the theory goes that the damage was so bad, it weakened the iron hull that when the iceberg hit the ship, it just tore it open like butter because all the steel and all the metal components were just all like melted and just like destroyed from the fire. So it weakened the hull, so when the iceberg hit, it just barely grazed it, and it just caused so much damage that it sank. But no. The fire was like contained. It wasn't that bad. It was just like a dent in the hull. Yeah, no. And their argument, the theorists' argument, is a photo. I'll pull up the photo right here. This photo claims that it shows a burn mark on the hull of Titanic where the fire had broken out. In reality, though, it's literally like, think of this, it's 1912. 1912, like the turn of the new era. Cameras were just like starting to develop and being developed and stuff. 1912 camera equipment. It's just a smudge on the camera. It's just a camera error. And the spot of the smudge is not even in the correct place where the fire was. The smudge is like more where the cargo rooms were, and stuff. It's literally like at the bow section. The boiler rooms were under the first funnel, not like at the forecastle deck, you know? So yeah, no. So I want to do this what if theory now. So you see this man, his name is Thomas Andrews. You may know him. I think everyone knows him if you're into Titanic. He is the ship's designer. He created the ship and made the plans and stuff. And when Titanic hit the iceberg, he gave Captain Smith the damage report and what he thought how the ship was going to sink. So, let me just explain it. When Titanic hit the starboard side of the ship, water started pouring in. Normally, when water goes onto one side, it leans to that side. But since Titanic had that port list, it was kind of evening out. It was like a counterbalance to that starboard, all that water going to the starboard side. So it took around 5 minutes until the actual starboard list could develop. So, but Thomas Andrews, when he gave the damage report, didn't account of that happening. He didn't think of the coal fire having any significance significance. Is that how you say it? Okay. Anyway, significance on the sinking scenario. So he just thought that, like a normal ship sinking, all the water was rushing on the starboard side, and he thought that the list was going to be so bad. Like, it was going to be listing to starboard, I don't know, like 9 degrees or like 10 degrees, like that, like 12 degrees. It was leaning over super heavily. But in reality, though, since the counterbalance, it didn't lean that much over. But he didn't account for that. So he said that in around an hour, 30 minutes, the ship was going to lean so much over on the starboard side, it was going to capsize and sink in around an hour. And instead of it slowly sinking down around for 3 hours, it was just going to, an hour, gone. He was wrong. Because he didn't account for the coal fire. And the scary thing is that the first lifeboat to be lowered on the Titanic was lowered around an hour after the iceberg collision. So if Thomas Andrews was right, if the coal fire never happened, and Thomas Andrews' theory was correct, then perhaps none of the lifeboats would have been lowered. There would have been no survivors. It would just sink in an hour. They wouldn't have enough time to do anything at all. They could have sent out an SOS. Hopefully they did. But it's pretty unlikely. So think of the sinking scenario that Thomas Andrews was like Poseidon, except without the wave. Like you've seen the movie Poseidon, 2006, or the Poseidon Adventure. You know that I get hit by a big wave, and capsized, went flipped upside down, and that's basically it. If without the wave, with just an iceberg, it would capsize like that, which would be terrifying. You're just a random passenger on first class, and all of a sudden the ship starts flipping upside down, and on you're in the grand staircase, and you just fall. It's like the 1997 movie when it's at a 45-degree angle and you see people falling off the deck. That's basically what it would be like if Thomas Andrews was right. And he could probably be right. But the coal fire happened, which caused the port list, which caused the counterbalance to the weight of the water. Or not the weight, whatever. Counterbalance to the water, which actually saved, in quotes, saved the ship without sinking down. Without capsizing, it would just sink down slowly into the water. Well, it's not kind of slowly, but just sink, go down by the head, and only reach around the 20-degree angle and just break apart. Yeah, broke apart. That's kind of terrifying, but Much better than you asleep and then all of a sudden you're upside down. Like an hour. Yeah. So many people would probably be asleep through the iceberg collision and wouldn't even know until it was too late. They wake up an hour later or about 20, 30 minutes later, and they just go up on deck and the ship's gone. And then maybe some people survive, like they jumped overboard, but remember, the Atlantic Sea, it was like 28 degrees Fahrenheit. It was super cold. I think negative 2 degrees Celsius, I'm pretty sure. And that was cold. You couldn't last you can't even last an hour in that. So even if they did survive the initial flipping over and sinking, they wouldn't survive in the water, which is pretty obvious. So anyway, I just wanted to share what I've just learned. Please fact check me. I don't know if what I've just said, that entire thing, was true. I've just heard of it. I've just heard many videos about it and read some stuff. Tell me if what Thomas Andrews said was real, because what I've heard, I never heard of it before. I watched the movies and I never said anything about it. But hopefully I'm right, because I just want to be right. So anyway, so sorry about it. I might post maybe tomorrow, maybe a couple days. I don't know. Kind of busy. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to play some VR Titanic. I don't know. Yeah, well, bye. Subscribe, please. Subscribe on